Gwinnett County 911.
I need to make a report. My sister's been missing since yesterday. No one has seen her.
What's your sister's name?
Susana Morales.
When Susana walked out the back gate of Sterling Glen Apartments, there's a sidewalk there that would take her straight to her residence.
Where can I see her last known location?
I have a screenshot.
You have a screenshot?
They could see that she was walking back from the apartment complex down Singleton Road.
And all of a sudden, she goes in the opposite direction in a car. And that's when I started panicking. Something happened to her on the way home.
This case is just, it's unreal.
She walked that way.
Gwinnett County Police are hoping that you can help them find a teenager, 16-year-old Susana Morales. Police now believe that she may have gotten into a car that night, July 26th.
She was a young, full-of-life teenager who vanished pretty much out of thin air.
You know why we're here?
We just thought about the worst.
They needed to do something.
Oh! Brushes. Oh. Susana was the baby. She would get everything that we wanted when we were at her age. Necklace, earrings.
Yes.
She was definitely spoiled.
Y'all really went out. This is cute.
Ooh.
I like this.
Our best moments is laughing together as a family.
Oh, chicle.
Susana Morales was very close to her family. They lived in Norcross here in Gwinnett County. We are a large county just north of Atlanta, and we're one of the most diverse counties in the United States.
Where are you from originally?
Mexico.
What were you looking for?
Vivir mejor, ¿verdad?
3 daughters? ¿Tres hijas?
3 hijas. Julissa, Yasmin, y Susana.
Her name was Susana, but you called her?
Susie.
Me and Susana had a 10 years difference. Me being the oldest, I used to take care of them. Susana was very outgoing. I was a little closer to Susana probably because 3-year age gap in between us.
She was always making TikTok videos.
She loved to record music videos of herself singing.
Susana's best friends that I've known since like middle school for her was Kaya and Esmeralda. They were very, very close.
We had fun together. We didn't have to do much to be happy around each other. She was a very bubbly person.
Remember Susana?
She was very sweet, very nice.
Susana's hair was very curly. She loved exploring new colors with it. She had dyed her hair green, red, and blonde at one point.
She worked with her mother at a local McDonald's. She loved music. She loved to play a ukulele that had been given to her. She loved to sing.
So won't you say me your location? Let's focus on communicate.
Take me through that day, July 26, 2022.
Yo hice pescado ese día.
Susana didn't really like fish and didn't want to eat that, so she asked her mother if she could go to her friend Esmeralda's home.
How close was that house?
Como 6 minutos.
6 minutes.
She told her mom she got to her friend's house safe, and that was around 7:19 p.m.
I just want to know if you got there.
Uh-huh.
And she responds,
Sí.
sí, with a thumbs up.
Todo bien.
Later that night, approximately 9:40-ish p.m., Susana's mom starts calling Susana and asking her to come home because it's getting late.
You were going to go pick her up.
Le llamé 3 veces y no me contestó y ella siempre acostumbraba a contestarme.
Susana's mom reached out for Susana to be like, hey, where are you? And she texted her and texted her and texted her.
Susie, do you want me to go for you?
Ajá, le digo, mija, contesta por favor.
My daughter, please answer.
Because Susana's mother was not able to get in touch with her, she reached out to Esmeralda and her family.
She called me asking if Susana was at my house.
Susana had actually never come over there.
Of course, that's my best friend, so I will back her up. I told her that Susana was leaving while I was able to get enough time to get a hold of Susana.
Initially, Esmeralda, being a teenage friend, was trying to cover for Susana.
I contacted her, calling her, no response. So I texted her and told her that her mother was looking for her and she better be on her way home before I get in trouble.
Susana's mother recalls talking to Esmeralda's mother, who told her Susana was never there.
So mom at that point is worried and like, hey, why was my daughter not where she said she was?
I remember getting a call from my mom like around 9 or 10 p.m. at night, and she was just asking me if I've heard from Susana or if I had talked to her because she wasn't answering her phone.
Susana's mother was continuously contacting people, trying to figure out where Susana might be.
She had a very good relationship with her sisters and her mom, so that was not characteristic if she did not get in contact with her mom.
I told my mom that maybe Susana's phone had died or that she fell asleep, and let's just wait till morning to hear from her.
You realize there's something really wrong here.
Yo sabía que ella estaba en peligro.
One of Susana's friends gets a crash alert on her cell phone. Susana's in a moving vehicle and there's a serious crash.
That's Susie, huh?
Sí,
Your
la
screenshot.
foto de sus 15.
On her 15th birthday? For her quinceañera, what did she want more than anything?
Mami, quiero tacos.
Tacos.
Tacos, Susie?
All she wanted was to go eat tacos. She wanted us to buy her a mini quinceañera dress, a pink, sparkly, short quinceañera dress.
Susana was always hanging out with her friends. None of them drove, so they all were young and would walk to each other's house.
On July 26, 2022, while Susana's mother was attempting to locate her and worried about where Susana was, Susana's friend Kaya had gotten a notification on her phone through a mobile application on their phone called Live 360.
It's an app where you can add people to your circle. You can add friends, family members, and it'll tell you their location.
It also provides other safety features, like parents can track their kids. It shows how fast they're driving. It shows if the phone battery's low, things like that.
Around 10:30 p.m., Susana's friend Kaya had gotten a notification on her phone that Susana's phone had been involved in some kind of crash.
Kaya gets what they call a crash alert on her phone. To get a crash alert, there has to be serious force with that phone.
Susana could have potentially been involved in a car accident.
Once Kaya got the Live 360 notification crash alert, she contacted Esmeralda.
So her friends at that point are worried about Susana, and Susana didn't drive.
After speaking with Esmeralda, she went out there and checked it out because we were thinking she got into a car accident.
They had the location of where the alert was sent from. So they went to that location and started looking for Susana.
I was on the phone with Kaya. My sister had Susana's phone number. My sister was calling her phone to see maybe we could find it or find any debris of any sort of car crash, but that road and that neighborhood was very quiet that night, so obviously there was no car crash.
There's no signs at all of a vehicle crash, no signs of Susana, and no signs of her phone.
She couldn't find any debris or anything, so we just assumed that she was sleeping over at a friend's house, and we slept on it.
The next day, I received a terrifying call from my mom where she was sobbing, and I was like, what happened?
My mom called me and told me that she was gonna call the police because she hasn't heard from Susana. And I told her to wait for me, and I left work. I don't think I was really worried until I got the screenshots from the Live 360, and that's when I started panicking. And it basically showed the trip of her walking home. And all of a sudden, she goes in the opposite direction in a car. And it was like a notification of like 360 that Susana might have been in a crash.
She's heading down Singleton Road in the direction of back home. Then we see about 5 minutes later, her direction pattern changed and she's going the exact opposite way away from her house. And here we see she's now driving in a vehicle at a top speed of 40 miles an hour. Ultimately, we get the crash alert at that location. That's the last known location where Susana phones pings.
Once we got the screenshots, we realized that Susana had gone to a different friend's house.
She actually had gone to her friend Alyssa and Kelly's apartment complex.
Kelly is a girl that Susana's mom, for whatever reason, didn't like.
She didn't want Susana to be around certain friends because she believed they were a bad influence. Susana knew that her mom was going to say no about her going to Kelly's house. So she asked, can I go to Esmeralda's house? So that's where Maria thought she was going to go. But instead, she ended up going to Kelly's house, which she lived in the Sterling Glen Apartments.
The Sterling Glen Apartments is a fairly typical apartment complex for that area. A lot of different buildings that have multiple apartment units in them. There is a clubhouse and a pool. Because of the crime in the area, they also employ a courtesy officer to help patrol the area.
The family have at this point reached out to all of their friends of Susana. No one knows where she is, so they reach out to the Gwinnett County Police and make a report.
My sister's been missing since yesterday. How old is your sister?
16.
Okay. Is your mom or dad there?
Yes.
I'll have an officer out there as soon as possible to meet with you and your mom, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Maria speaks Spanish, so just to have that clear communication, if we can, we send officers that speak Spanish.
Buenos días.
Mi hija ayer a las 6 de la tarde se fue de su amiga según y su teléfono está apagado.
Her friend has her on like 360, you know what that is? But it's not like renewing her location. And once the officer arrived at the house, we were just letting them know what was going on, that Susana hadn't made home since last night and she wasn't answering any calls.
So where can I see her last known location?
Have a screenshot. We were showing him the screenshots from the Live 360 and all the messages that we had, and they asked us to send that to them, so we did.
When you're looking at the 360 of her being in a car, it can be someone took her, or it can be that she ran away.
Whose car is she in? What happened? Is she okay?
My name is Xavier Biggers. I've been in policing for 20 years. I've always wanted to be a police officer since I was 5 years old. At the time of Susana Morales' disappearance, my title was a sergeant over the Special Victims Unit. Initially, I had nothing other than what the officers on scene had given me.
You showed him something on your phone?
La foto de Susi.
¿Qué tenía puesto cuando se fue?
Eso se miraba aquí.
Jeans, a yellow tank top. They show Susana's hair.
She had black fingernails. That's something that stood out as something descriptive for her.
Y quería ver si me podía ayudar como a localizar su teléfono.
Todavía no podemos hacer eso.
No.
So, lo que yo puedo hacer ahorita es el reporte inicial diciendo que ya no ha estado aquí.
They gave us a report number.
Good morning, GCSB.
Good morning. I need to list a juvenile missing.
When Susana's mother called us to report her missing, she was put on the system by the officer that made the report as a missing person. On that day, I was the on-call sergeant. They called me and let me know that they went door to door trying to get more information about her disappearance. They went to Sterling Glen Apartments, where Kelly lives.
7808 Road.
Hello.
Hello.
They spent about a good 3 to 4 hours at that apartment complex looking for her.
She here?
She's working right now.
And they actually spoke with Kelly and talked with her.
You know why we're here?
From Mexico.
What can you tell us about her?
She left me 10, and then I never saw her anymore. Like, this is so strange.
Susana ended up walking over to her friend Kelly and Alyssa's home at the apartment complex.
We were actually able to locate social media videos that were taken of Susana and her friends that day.
We were doing a belly piercing, just taking videos.
We were just hanging out. We ended up walking to the back of the gate to the apartments, and then I just said goodbye.
Around 10 p.m., Kelly said that she took Susana to the exit of the Sterling Glen Apartments on Singleton Road.
Singleton Road is located in a pretty populated area. There are residential areas as well as businesses. Even at night, there's a lot of foot traffic as well as vehicles.
Susana had walked on that road numerous times, so she was familiar with it.
However, once you pass the businesses, it is a very dark walk back to Susana's house.
This is where Kelly basically walked Susana out to the back gate, and Susana went home this way from the back gate. From Sterling Glen Apartments to Susana home is probably only about a 15-minute walk.
To get home, Susana would have exited the Sterling Glen Apartments through the back gate, taken a left onto Singleton Road, and then traveled down Singleton Road and taken a left onto Santa Ana Drive, where her home was located.
I was a homicide detective with Gwinnett County Police at the time of Susana Morales' disappearance. I worked on the same floor as the Special Victims Unit. I heard them talking about it. So, of course, I jumped in and I was asking questions. There was something up with this that wasn't a typical case.
Somewhere after she walked past this parking lot, her phone changed directions and began going back towards the Sterling Glen Apartments at a speed that's consistent with her being in a vehicle. And within less than a mile, a crash alert is received.
So this is the direction the 360 application was showing. Susana was going in at 40 miles per hour. Then this is the area that it pretty much crashes out and roundabout here. We checked to see if there were any accidents in that area. There was no accidents reported in that area.
Given that there's no actual evidence of a car crash, our assumption is that her phone is thrown out the window out of a moving vehicle and that the phone is damaged or broken to cause the crash alert.
When you're looking at the 360 of her being in a car, you can see it from both ways, and I saw it from both ways. It can be someone took her, or it can be that she ran away. So.
I knew she didn't run away. She was on the way home and something happened.
Just because of the information that we had about hanging out with Kelly, and the fact that she told her mother that she was going one place and she ended up going somewhere else, we was thinking maybe that she had thrown her cell phone away or got rid of it because she knew she was going to get in trouble. So we linked this as possibly, well, she was running away. Even with that, we were working the case as a regular missing person by gathering the information we had as far as her friends, her social media, and doing the things as our policy have stated, and work it at that point.
Did you ever think she would run away?
No, Yo nunca, nunca, nunca pensé que estaba runaway. Nunca.
She didn't take her charger, she didn't take clothes, she didn't take anything. So we were really, really scared at that moment. And that's when we as a family start looking for her.
They needed to do something. Susana's nowhere to be found. They go out, they start canvassing.
Then the family thinks they found something.
That's her, that's her.
That is her.
That's her.
Just be honest, we don't throw out search parties unless it's a critical person. Diabetic, can't live by their own, something that will have exigent circumstances for us to find this person. She's 16, right? Yeah, let me make a couple phone calls.
After filing the police report, we said that we weren't gonna wait. We had to do something. And so using the screenshots that we had, we kind of retraced her steps.
We started looking for her in the exact point where the app shows where the incident was.
The ping hit in this area right here. Her family came here, and it was unfortunate that this was not the location where Susana was at. It was just the last area where her cell phone pinged at.
We tried to retrace her steps that we thought that she would take. So we started at Kelly's apartment.
Nosotros fuimos prácticamente las detectives.
You were the detectives.
Sí, andábamos siempre buscando, investigando, preguntando.
They needed to do something. Susana's nowhere to be found. They go out, they start canvassing as well.
We were asking all the businesses to see if they had any cameras, and we got to a daycare. The camera system that that place had, it was super old, so it was like an hour ahead or behind.
I'll tell you the time it is.
At first, we couldn't get anything until he went back to the right hour. We saw Susana.
That is her.
That's her. We were like, oh my God, that's her, that's her.
In the video, Susana's wearing the yellow tank top, jeans, and white Crocs.
She's alone. There's no cars near her, no strangers.
She appeared to be walking towards the direction of her home, and that nothing was wrong at that moment.
Susana walked this way. She walked past the cameras coming right there. She walked down this pathway here.
Once we saw that, our mind was thinking that maybe she got kidnapped, she's being raped, she's trafficking. We just thought about the worst.
Ahora sí se la llevaron de ahí entonces.
It was a bad feeling because we knew for sure something had happened because she was on the way home.
How did you feel?
Fue más la angustia y porque dije yo si ella iba, a mi niña alguien se la llevó. Yo siento que ella me había gritado, mami, ayúdame, pero no estuve ahí.
You have to look at, was she abducted?
We have close to 40 to 50 missing persons reports in our system a month. And I would say majority of those, they come back home within the first week. All hands are on deck when it comes to a person that's been abducted versus someone is just being missing, because you have to show that foul play is actually involved. And at that time, we didn't have any information that Susana was abducted by anyone. However, I had taken the case as a personal matter, and I was looking for her like someone had taken her. My daughter is 16 at the time when this occurred. I looked at this as if she was my daughter, because every day I saw my daughter, I saw her. So I was working harder every day because I came over here to the extra storage space knowing that Susana was continuing her walk, but unfortunately the video camera only caught the brush at the bottom of here. It didn't capture the sidewalk. We actually checked the bus's cameras during that time frame when she went missing. We didn't see any footage of her on any of the buses. At Sterling Glen Apartments, the only cameras that they have are on top of the building. Those are considered like live feed cameras, which means live feed, not recording.
Once Susana was reported missing and nobody was able to find any location for her or any information about where she had gone, Susana's family and her friends and the community began to launch a campaign to try and find Susana.
We decided we would make these big posters and saying, have you seen her? Can you please call this number? And we were posting all over social media. I remember I got a call from this woman. She was saying, I have your sister, I have your sister. In that moment, my heart dropped.
Especially nowadays with social media, people do things to make you feel like a moment of hope and false hope. And that's what happened.
He was just not messing with me.
Unfortunately, there are evil people out there and they prey on this.
Necesito saber que estás bien. Tú sabes que te amo muchísimo.
The family is begging and pleading with anyone to find Susana.
We just don't know what happened. We don't know if she got picked up. We don't know if she got lost. She wouldn't just go out and not tell us.
This was a case that grabbed so much attention. You're talking about a teenager, and all of a sudden she goes missing. It blows your mind.
We did receive a lot of tips from people who were genuine and did care and tried to give potential sightings of her.
One tip brings her family to the brink.
Someone saw Susana's bright curly hair at a hotel.
Police are dispatched to the scene. What do they find?
Me and my mom were going out every single day. If we would get a tip at 2 in the morning, we would be out looking for her at 2 in the morning. I remember that we would get a lot of sightings of her, and so we would always go and check out.
At one point, a tip comes in that someone saw Susana's bright curly hair at a hotel.
And when we went, we were just driving around the hotel. And then in one of the windows, we saw a silhouette of 2 women, and one had super curly hair. And we were for sure that it was Susana. So we called the police.
We had officers go to the hotel because they were actually in the parking lot saying that Susana was actually there.
They were taking forever to get there, and once the police got there, they went inside and they were able to talk to one of the women that was there. But the lady that had left was the one with curly hair. And so we were like, oh my God, what if that was her? So we were left with that doubt if that lady was her or not.
They never gave up hope, and I lived off their hope. After my 8 hours of work, I would still spend 2 to 3 more extra hours on, I would call it Susana time. Just driving around just to seeing if I could see Susana sitting on a stoop or sitting at the playground. Hoping that I would possibly see her just walking down the sidewalk. I mean, my car doesn't really look like, a police car. So I would actually go in plain clothes and just camp out at some of these hotels. And after a while, some of the criminals who do a lot of prostitution started noticing who I was. This is their RV camp. Someone said that they had thought they saw a sighting of her over here. And then I just got into a routine that I would do the exact same thing And I would go from the hotels to here, to the businesses, to the apartment complex, to Sterling Glen. I just kept doing the exact same thing over and over because I just felt that if I didn't do it, that will be the day that someone saw her.
It was a super hard time. I was honestly really just trying to be strong for my mom.
Él decidió que ella desapareció en mi vida. Por decir así, se acabó.
The longer that Susana remained missing, the bigger of a story this became in the local community.
It's been more than a month since anyone in Susana Morales' family has heard from the 16-year-old.
This flyer is all across Norcross and Gwinnett County. Today, Gwinnett police said they can't find her alone.
Honestly, we're just tired of not knowing. That's like the hardest part. Well, our goal was just to make sure that everybody knew her face. If anybody would try seeing her, they would call us.
Gwinnett police on Monday said they have exhausted all options and need the public's help to find her. The Meadow Creek High student is not believed to be in any danger.
What's the evidence for them to think that? Or do they have evidence that show otherwise?
While we're going through the fall, police don't have any updates on it.
And during that time, I was pregnant. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. All I did was cry. I got pregnant to the point I couldn't do anything. And so mainly I felt guilt for not being able to look for her more.
As the investigation began to, month after month, turn up no results, the Special Victims Unit turned the case over to the Homicide Unit.
What's interesting about this case is there's a team with the First 48 TV show that was embedded with police during this investigation into this disappearance of a teenage girl.
SVU has been working a missing juvenile case for going actually 6 months today. I was asked to come in and assist. And I just got kind of pushy, I guess. Not in a bad way. I just kind of hijacked the case.
Carter is just, man, she's a warrior, and she knows she just have a knack for stuff.
There was zero communication coming from Susana after that crash alert. Literally zero activity, nothing. She's a teenager. That's unheard of.
We did have hope that somebody new was coming to the case, and hopefully they were able to see something that nobody else saw.
I started from scratch. We took metal detectors where her phone was last seen on Live 360 and attempted to locate it.
We're just gonna check the center median. I really wanna find this. We didn't find the phone. We just tried.
I spoke to friends, I spoke to family.
You treat this just like a real homicide case, not just a person just walked away. Everyone is now considered a suspect at this point.
Throughout those investigations, the police realized that absolutely none of them had any information whatsoever as to Susana's disappearance.
So I asked for another media release to be sent out just to keep her name relevant, and we had no suspects at that time. We don't know who's watching.
This is 16-year-old Susana Morales, a teenager who's been missing since summer. Cell phone data and cameras show her last known location was in Gwinnett County, walking home.
We needed either someone come forward with some information or Susana come home.
If you have information, please call Gwinnett County Police.
And then within about 2 weeks or so, we had a break in the case.
I received a call saying, "Did you hear the news? They found your sister."
Y'all really went out.
Nobody expected to still be looking for her.
Gwinnett County Police Department out of
They
leads,
said they have exhausted all options.
looking for this missing high school student.
We had the meeting where it was decided like I would kind of take over the case, and then we started doing all these other search warrants, and we got a call
Gwinnett County 911. What's the location of the emergency?
He was driving. He noticed on the side of Highway 316 a trail that went into the woodline. He had a small kind of off-road vehicle, and he liked to adventure and find different trails, and so he took that trail down the side of Highway 316. He ultimately said that he got a phone call, got out and began to walk around the woods as he was on the phone.
I was just out walking through the woods off the side of 316, but I found a human skull.
Hey, we're gonna have an officer head out that way.
No, bro.
A patrol officer sent to check out those remains. The immediate assumption is, hey, it's probably an animal, it's a skull.
434 right here. We're just about a half mile. Let's go.
Oh, it's going. How are you doing?
I'm good. This is that way, a little walk. Just a couple hundred yards there.
Show us?
Sure.
Officers arrive and they meet the man who made the 911 call from on the side of the highway, and he kind of leads them into the woods where he found it.
Is it off like this road, or is it a little ways off?
Oh, right up over here.
There's no stores. There's no real residences. It's just literally the side of a highway. It's not a place that people normally would pull over and just walk around, or there's no reason for someone to be there.
315 down the code for.
We see on that officer's body cam, when he gets there, the officer sees a skull. And the remains are too big to be a small animal, and it's clearly they are human.
And there's more. I walked straight that way, and there's a few more over there.
Step back a little bit. We're gonna see how far we got to cordon this off. I got some tape in the back of my car too.
So the Gwinnett County Police Department confirmed that they did appear to be human remains, and so the Gwinnett County Medical Examiner, Homicide Unit, and Crime Scene Specialist responded to the area.
We were called out because a citizen discovered skeletal remains. This is just all wooded. There's nothing out here.
You want to go get your phone?
Yeah. This general area right here is where the remains were located.
This is gonna be all night.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
I know.
several hours.
The first thing that I saw when I got here was a human skull on the ground.
Right now they're collecting some of the larger bones of the foot. We've retrieved a significant portion of the skeleton. The skull's complete. There's no clothing, there's no wallet, there's no, possessions, no effects.
Police look, and there's absolutely nothing to identify the person. Not even any indication if they're male or female, adult, child, nothing.
I have not seen any sharp force injuries to the bones.
Right now, we don't have a cause of death. We don't have an identity.
Looking at it, the growth plates is not fused.
She said tibia younger, 17, 18-ish.
The first words from the forensic pathologist when she sees what we have are, do you have any missing teenage girls?
So the medical examiner, Dr. Terry, she's able to tell that they're female, and that is when red flags start going off in our heads. Could this be Susana?
As we were sifting through the topsoil and recovering some of the small bones of the hands, one of the medical examiner investigators, he recovered some fingernails.
We found some fingernails. It was pink, but it was peeling off of them, right?
Yeah, like the black.
This started missing.
As soon as I saw the nail polish on the fingernails, I recalled a photo that Detective Carter had shown me of Susana. In that photograph, her nails were painted black. It kind of put a chill in my spine.
Something he took note of was that the remains that we were able to actually recover indicated that her clothes were not with her at the time that she was killed.
I definitely remember thinking that whoever this girl turned out to be, it was immediately obvious that she didn't walk out into the woods. As thick as it was, she didn't walk out here in the nude with no shoes on. That was immediately suspicious.
By the time the medical examiner processed the scene, it was completely dark in the middle of the woods. Our immediate concern at that point was trying to verify if, in fact, these were Susana.
Could it really be Susana? All of our hearts break because, of course, we still hope she's alive.
I made arrangements to have uniformed officers out here so that there would be bodies all night guarding this perimeter, making sure that no evidence could be tampered with, to come back out here the next day to search for additional items just because it was too dark to perform that thorough of a search.
Hey, y'all hold up. Recruits found a gun.
It felt really strange that a firearm would be out here.
Probably 30 yards past where the skeletal remains were found.
I was just out walking through the woods off the side of 316, but I found a human skull.
I walked straight that way, and there's a few more over there.
So we went that next morning out to the remains.
So just make sure that you're scanning carefully because they're going to be small pieces that you're looking for. In addition to clothing, shoes, something like that.
All right, y'all go ahead and start form the line from here down to the guardrail. Let's fill in any gaps.
So we line up police officers to do a grid, walking through the woods near that remains to see, is there anything that could have been left there?
Hey, y'all hold up. Recruits found a gun.
Probably 200 feet off the highway here was a black pistol, just barely covered with pine straw.
It was a 9mm firearm that had a flashlight attached to the firearm as well, and it appeared it had been there for some time.
Probably 30 yards past where the skeletal remains were found. It's definitely suspicious.
You want to run that really quick?
We're at 10.9 Glock pistol, serial Bravo Romeo X-ray Hotel 074.
We're returning to 99.
Means it's stolen.
The gun was loaded, but there was no evidence to say that it had been fired.
That's where the gun was actually found, is where that dead end is.
Definitely the close proximity that the gun was to the remains, and then the gun being listed as stolen, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure out that they're probably related.
I want to talk to the guy who reported it missing.
Police run that serial number of the firearm. They find out that that gun was reported missing by someone named Miles Bryant. Miles Bryant actually lived in the Sterling Glen apartments.
I pulled the report and saw that it had been reported stolen the same day that Susana was reported as missing from the same location, Sterling Glen Apartments.
She's last seen July 26, 2022, 10 o'clock p.m. The next morning, in the early morning hours, that gun's reported stolen from the Sterling Glen Apartments. Miles Bryant is the owner of that gun. He lives at the Sterling Glen apartment complex where Susana was last seen. All of our evidence is coming back to Sterling Glen.
Miles Bryant, the guy who reported his gun stolen the day after Susana went missing. He reported from his courtesy officer job at Winsgate Village.
He was working security.
Yes.
Right?
Oh my gosh. He's a cop.
Yeah.
The moment that I found out that he was a cop, it was like, are you serious? What the heck? Like, it was kind of extremely shocking because you never think you're gonna see that.
It's like getting crazy.
Where is he an officer?
Dorville.
I learned that the person who reported the gun as stolen was Miles Bryant. From there, I started doing some research on him.
Miles Bryant was working for the Dorville Police Department. Dorville is between our area in Gwinnett and the city of Atlanta, not far from us.
His side gig was to do security. He was a courtesy officer for the apartment complex where he lived. And that's typical. You'll see officers live in different apartment complexes and they'll do security for them.
He appears very young, and he is young. He was in his early 20s. Miles grew up Here, he went to school here in Gwinnett County.
Me and Miles Bryant grew up since I was in elementary school. We were best friends. He was kind of nerdy. He wore glasses. He liked me. He wasn't my type. So I just kind of threw him into the friend zone.
У меня есть друг Валентин, он такой один, Валентин позвонил мне с утра, и он разбудил меня. Он мне позвонил и сказал, чтобы я приехал туда куда? А вон туда. Я приехал, он тут стоял один, а потом сказал: прости. Да. Валентин, Валек.
Miles played football at Burkmore High School. He was a running back.
His number was 23.
He would post highlight videos of himself to his Huddle account. He's in ROTC in high school. He joins the Army National Guard. Miles was very proud of his National Guard service. He posted photos of himself in his uniform on social media.
He always wanted to be a police officer.
Detective Carter began to review that report of the missing weapon, believing that it was very possible somebody had stolen this gun and used it to abduct Susana.
What's up, man?
Hey, Mr. Bryant.
You're probably getting slammed. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
At that point, that's when we pull that body cam video on the gun reported missing.
So yesterday, so I can't find my wallet, and then this morning I looked on my floorboard and the my Glock 19 holster.
Right.
So, oh, I hate to say it, I think I left my they ain't smashed the window or nothing. Around, left my door unlocked.
Miles Bryant reports that from his personal vehicle, his own truck, his wallet is taken and his gun is taken.
I looked down this morning and saw my holster. I said, I can't find my wallet. My holster's there. My gun and holster is never separate, you know?
Okay. Anyway, I'll list it in the truck just to say it's out on the report.
Yeah. I don't really care about, the detective, stuff like that. I just want to get on.
We found it very odd that Mr. Bryant would not want detectives to follow up on a stolen gun report.
Hey, I just want to document this, but you don't need to send it to detectives. You don't need to investigate that. That's unheard of.
If you need anything, hit me up. I'm more willing to talk to you.
Cool, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Hey, hopefully you find your wallet. It's not actually...
Yeah, I know.
When the police department discovered that he was a police officer, they didn't want to believe that he was necessarily involved in this, but at the same time, it was very difficult to figure out and to think about how his gun could have ended up in the woods where Susana was last located, 22 miles away from where he lived.
I was like hardcore at that point. We need to talk to this person because they're definitely going to have information or some kind of involvement.
We're literally talking to everyone here, so we got no leads, man. We're just trying to...
Myself and Detective Carter went and got the dental records for Susana. The medical examiner was able to match them up and actually told us that it was Susana. Me and Carter, we just sat there and cried for about 10 minutes because we didn't want to believe that it was her.
We're about to go make death notification to the family. I'm not looking forward to it, but it has to be done.
break the horrible news.
You guys want to go inside for a second?
Yeah.
I remember going to my mom's house to wait for the police, so I know Biggers and Carter were coming, and then that's when they informed us that they had found her remains.
And I was like, what? They found my sister.
I remember granted hearing my mom screaming. And I was in shock. I was like, that can't be true. Like, that can't be true.
Our mom literally just fell to the ground. Her soul just left her body. It was the hardest thing that I've ever done, and to this day, it's still, obviously you can see that it still sticks with me.
La peor noticia que le mata uno como madre desde que Susana desapareció. Yo siento que no hay alegría en mi corazón. Amo a mis hijas, pero algo se murió dentro de mí.
Unfortunately, because of the way the body was disposed of, we have no indication of what happened to Susana.
But what the medical examiner also determined very quickly was that there was also absolutely no evidence of any clothing that had been on Susana prior to her being left there. And that was significant because with an accidental death, it would be very unlikely, nearly unheard of for Susana to not be dressed, to not be clothed. And so that immediately told us that we suspected this was a homicide.
Investigators in Gwinnett County just told us human remains found along Highway 316, that's in Gwinnett County, are those of a 16-year-old girl who disappeared in July.
I remember Carter promising me that she would find out what happened and who did it.
Looking at Miles, we're kind of wondering, what his involvement may have been. Is he a true victim and had his gun stolen, and whoever stole it is responsible, for maybe taking Susana, or is this a ruse to distance himself from his gun being located out in the woods where the remains were found?
They then obtained a search warrant for Mr. Bryant's cellular phone records.
We just got phone records back on our suspects. He is in the wood line at 1 a.m., which is 3 hours later after Susana goes missing.
Now, Miles Bryant was a police officer. He had two phones, a personal cell phone and a work cell phone. Both phones put him in that location, and he's in the same location at the same time as Susana's remains.
Oh, I wanted to go arrest him. I wanted to go arrest Miles right away. I wanted to leave that night and go get him because it was alarming. I'm like, he's in a position of power. I'm like, we can't just leave him like this. But this is a cop involved in this. We need to make sure we handle this correctly.
I went out there and just waited for him to walk outside, and we just approached him asking for his help for our investigation on Susana.
Hey man, what's up? You doing all right?
We're just out here, we're trying to look for anybody helping us out with that missing girl.
Oh.
Yeah, you're the courtesy officer or something?
Yes, sir.
Cool, man. You know anything about that?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Miles' response to the information he had about Susana was a little surprising. He should be more informed with what's going on in his complex if he's a good courtesy officer.
You got some time for us to come up to our headquarters and just talk about what you see on a daily basis and stuff like that?
Yeah, so at that time, there was no arrest warrants for Miles, so he really needed to come voluntarily. So we kind of just urged him that we needed his help.
Yeah, it doesn't be today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now? I have to go meet my girlfriend and not work with her.
Okay. What time's work at? 4? Yeah, it should be. We're literally talking to everyone here. We got no leads, man. We're just trying to document everything. That's all we are.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay? You can get up front seat, all right, man?
Oh, yeah, we'll get you up there. Knock this out.
We don't put him in the back of a patrol car. We actually let him sit up front in the police car, trying to make him feel comfortable, make him see, hey, we're just police officers, one-on-one, friends, talking to each other.
So we brought Miles up here. He sat in this chair here, and we interviewed him.
Hey, how you doing?
In the interview room, we have seats where we put certain people. Like where detectives sit, where suspect sits. We let him sit in a detective seat. We didn't change anything. We wanted him to be as comfortable as possible.
I'm Detective Carter. We don't know how to get a lot with this case, so I gotta start working a little bit more.
So Detective Carter obviously wanted to build a rapport with him. They're both working for the same goal, trying to accomplish the same thing, and that's find a missing girl.
Have you ever seen her? She used to be older quite a bit.
Okay. I haven't recognized the picture. The picture, I haven't recognized it.
So the initial plan for the interview, again, just go in there, be relaxed, ask him very open-ended questions. I asked him about his gun. Have you heard anything about the gun? And I played dumb.
I know that your gun was stolen. Do you know if it was located or anything yet?
No, I haven't heard anything.
I haven't run it yet. We probably need to check that.
And then at one point when I think I got as much information as I probably could get from him with just being super casual, I dropped that one bomb.
Basically, my sergeant did confirm, so we did find your gun. Actually, yeah. You watch the news, you know we found Savannah. But there was actually a gun found out there too.
For real?
Yeah. You've been shaking.
Yeah, it's crazy, you know? I told you you were coming up, you know, we wanted your help and everything, and your hands were shaking in my car. All right, that's not bad.
We had not disclosed prior to the interview with Mr. Bryant that we had found a firearm near Susana's body. So he learned that for the first time sitting there in the interview room.
That's crazy, I found my gun.
And it's the same serial number. He just verified it.
It's crazy.
I know. So help me walk through it a little bit. Do you know where she was found?
316 somewhere.
At that point, when I told him we found his gun, he does start shaking a little bit more.
That's crazy, I found my gun.
So,
Do you think it's involved?
I mean, that's a crazy coincidence.
Yeah.
Because I think it got stolen from you the same day, so it's probably someone that was walking around out there.
Yeah.
So try to think hard with me.
Did you know her at all? Morales? Nothing? Nothing at all.
Look, your gun was found there.
Yeah.
You know how this goes. We have to do like this, that, and the third to do everything. Which we did. We did our due diligence. Yeah. So I did get your phone record. Mm-hmm. So I knew you were already up there. Mm-hmm. So you were there for a little while.
So once Miles was confronted with the phone records, he changed his story to say that he got in this crazy chase fight with his girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, God, I remember that part. She tried to chase me. My girlfriend tried to chase me with her car. Yeah, I mean, I was driving around. I was driving, and I remember I was driving, and I was still in our area. I remember I was driving. She tried to chase me. Yeah, like the Jerry Springer episode. Yeah.
His story went from there's no reason I would be there, I'm never there, to, oh yeah, actually I was there. And I stopped and pulled over and I was on the phone.
Going up towards Lawrenceburg, I think, oh man, that sounds bad. It is over about 316.
I mean, you're saying that's bad. I mean, Lawrenceville's big. You're saying that's bad. You mean the area where...
Yeah, because, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a police officer, okay? So my gun was found in that area, you know, technically was in that area, stuff like that, you know. So, I mean, it sounds bad, but man.
Miles ultimately, says that he admits that he was out there. He kind of has to because his phone put him out there, but he said he doesn't get out of his vehicle, doesn't do anything in the woods.
Why were you in the woods?
I wasn't in the woods.
You were in the woods.
I was not in the woods.
You were. You're not helping me out much, man.
I know.
Interviewing him was just so frustrating because this poor girl didn't deserve this. Like, she didn't. And I just wanted him to take responsibility and actually tell us what happened instead of deflecting and trying to say that he had nothing to do with it. So I say, okay. I'm like, this isn't working with me. I said, fine, we're gonna take a break.
All right.
He's not gonna come off of it. You wanna try?
No.
Maybe it's because I'm a female, because he doesn't respect females.
We decided, we were kind of running into dead ends interviewing Miles, and that's when me and Sergeant Poppy decided to come in and just get more aggressive with him.
Sergeant Poppy, I'm Carter's supervisor.
A confessional was going to be huge in this case because without a manner of death, we needed Miles to tell us how he killed her. We just decided to take an aggressive approach and just tell him that he was essentially just full of.
And at the end of the day, you can't give us any information on why your gun is there and why you're there for an extended period of time.
In the same spot that her body was found. I don't know, I was by myself the entire night besides when my girlfriend was chasing me.
That's not a good answer. And your girlfriend's gonna tell us she was chasing you that night.
Yeah, she remembered.
I then speak to his girlfriend on the phone to confirm whether she was chasing him that night or not.
Quick question. You said you caught him cheating that night. You weren't chasing him?
But she said she never chased him.
Your girlfriend says absolutely not. She did not chase you that night.
She did not chase me?
That's what she
I
said.
swear.
So I even, told Miles that I thought he was, lying about his gun being stolen, telling him that he was trying to distance himself from the crime, and he just denied everything.
I think you dropped your gun. She couldn't find it. You gave up and left. No.
You didn't even want a detective assigned to your case. You told the officer, you don't even have to investigate this.
Because if
we investigate it, we're gonna find it, and it's gonna be near a dead body that you killed.
No.
You can say no, I don't hear that word from you no more.
You don't represent this badge. At all. Or this country. So do.
I was hoping talking to Miles about, honor, pride, integrity might tug on his, conscience a little bit, because people get into law enforcement for the right reason, and I was hoping maybe that would strike a chord in Miles, but unfortunately it didn't.
Honor, integrity, sacrifice. You're none of those.
And unless you could provide us with that thing that's gonna say it's not you, but you haven't done that.
What do y'all want? I'll tell you everything I got.
Yeah.
All right, man.
You'll be charged. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
You know why, bro? I should have stayed home instead of driving around, man.
We tell him, look, dude, you're under arrest.
Go ahead and stand up for me. Yep.
We get his phone, we get his passwords, and he is transported to the jail.
Oh, bro, I cannot go to jail. I have career.
At that time, because we weren't 100% sure on the cause of death and we were still looking for additional evidence, we charged him with false report of a crime. You can't just go to a judge and say, well, I just know it, I just feel it. We have to come with some evidence.
We started investigating Miles Bryant's past, and there starts to be a bunch of weird behavior with women.
We began to realize who Mr. Bryant really was under the surface, and it was this repeated pattern, all involving young women.
I was very scared for my life.
The funeral was very surprising, seeing a lot of community together. A lot of people out there supporting our family.
Yo creo de que cada uno de nosotros tenemos una reflexión en este día.
And that quinceañera dress was the one she was buried in.
Sí, ese vestido decidí ponérselo sobre sus restos. Y ya le puse su vestido ahí, con ese se fue.
All I could do was cry and cry. The most emotional part about the funeral was hearing my mom cry out. justice for Susie to the Lord.
Susana Morales' family got a call from investigators just hours after laying her to rest Monday.
¿Y cuándo fue la primera vez que oíste el nombre Miles Bryant? The first time you heard the name Miles Bryant?
Estábamos nosotros terminando el servicio de sepultarla cuando recibimos la llamada que tenían noticias para nosotros. Y fuimos a la oficina de la policía y ahí fue la primera vez que escuchamos el nombre de él.
22-year-old Miles Bryant started the day as an officer with Doraville Police. Now he's behind bars, off the job, and linked to the disappearance of a dead teen.
I got search warrants and conducted forensic downloads on his cell phones and then began reviewing that data. I was able to show and put him out there based on his activity logs on his cell phone.
Like how quickly you're moving your steps and stuff like that. At 1:20 a.m., he traveled 381 meters, 1:31, 140 meters, 1:41, 373 meters.
Technology is amazing. In a cell phone, you can see how many steps somebody takes. You can see their heart rates, get their location.
Do you know where she was found?
So when Miles told us he was just sitting in the truck.
Yeah, do you ever go in the woods and stuff out there?
In the woods now.
He was actually dumping Susana's body in the woods and then losing his gun and freaking out because he can't find his gun because it's pitch black out there.
So that's him running around.
Where's my gun?
Yep.
Looking for his gun.
It's interesting that those phone records put him at that remote location where the remains and gun are found twice. The nighttime when Susana goes missing, and then the next morning. Our theory is that he goes back to the woods. We assume he's looking for the gun that he dropped.
So we also got like his Google search history. He is on Google zooming in on the wooded area where he leaves her.
Safari searched for how long does it take a body to decompose.
Bike drop.
The man arrested last week for the death of 16-year-old Susana Morales is now charged with her murder. 22-year-old former Doraville police officer Miles Bryant now faces charges of felony murder and kidnapping.
It's disheartening when you think that a police officer would be involved in something as heinous as this situation. It is an affront to what these officers do on a daily basis.
We went to arraignment. We entered a plea of not guilty.
They didn't do their job. They didn't do their due diligence.
I think there were some feelings from many in the community that the police didn't care about Susana, about her being missing because she was Hispanic. And while I didn't feel that way, and I don't think the police felt that way, I think that was a feeling in the community at the time.
It was still 7 months of us looking for her, 7 months of us worrying about her. I feel like if we could have found out sooner, that would have been a little more helpful for us, that maybe we could have buried her body and not just her bones.
Chief McClure defended his department.
Again, this case was immediately assigned to an investigator, and they began following up on leads trying to locate Susana.
When I was looking into Miles, I located a lot of documented history and encounters we had with him where it seemed like he kind of targeted women.
Me and Miles Bryant were friends from 5th grade all the way up to 10th grade. We kind of stopped talking a little bit, but then after graduation, he hit me up to start talking again. He was asking me about his ex-girlfriend a lot. And I kind of got like an icky feeling.
Laisha Bates told him, I don't want to deal with you anymore. And he just wouldn't take no for an answer on that. He continued to reach out. He continued to follow her around, show up at her apartment, try to break into her apartment.
Covering his face and pulling on the door handle, then again knocking. This happened nearly 5 months after Gwinnett police say Bryant dumped the naked body of Morales in July.
My neighbor's ring cam captured 2 times Miles Bryant showing up to my home uninvited. It freaked me out. When I called Doraville's department, I spoke to the chief, and the chief was telling me that he'd speak to Miles and give me a call back.
So his superiors start investigating that. Bryant says that he only did that because she posted something he found strange on social media, so he went by her house to check about her well-being.
And Dorville just writes it off as a misunderstanding between two people, but they do tell him not to have any more contact with Alicia Bates. When you look at it in light of what came out in relation to the Susana Morales case, however, it's very concerning.
I was very scared for my life. I felt like everything was against me as far as the odds, just the fact that he was a cop.
Mr. Bryant lived two lives. On the surface, he was a well-respected police officer, but then on the other side was this dark and hidden secrets.
We, in the DA's office, we all looked through his body cam footage. There was a call located where he responded to a missing juvenile.
So somebody picked you up and what?
In that video, he basically described what he's basically done to Susana, which is very scary.
We're doing a missing person, then we found your body out there in the woods. Then what?
Miles Bryant, an ex-cop now on the other side of the law, accused of kidnapping and murdering 16-year-old Susana Morales.
We have yet to hear why prosecutors think the former police officer would abduct the teenager and kill her. They did say that he is accused of trying to dump her body in a wooded area. Reporting live in Gwinnett County, Courtney Francisco, Channel 2 Action News.
This was a high-profile trial. The courtroom was packed, a lot of family and friends, and it involved a police officer, so you can imagine the interest is really high.
He was supposed to serve and protect. Instead, he abused the law. He is a cop who turned into a killer.
Unfortunately, because of the way Miles Bryant dumped Susana's body, we didn't have evidence to prove a cause of death.
I think it was important for the jury to understand that it's his fault that we don't have that.
The defendant doesn't get to escape justice because he's good at murder.
Our strategy was basically to try to get the jury to see that it was basically a speculation as to what really happened that led to the death of Miss Morales.
We do know that Miles left her in the woods. We don't know if she was unconscious at that time or if she was dead. We don't know that he did anything to her to cause that.
He might have lured her in, through the use of a badge or gotten her in the vehicle somehow, but very quickly I think he incapacitated her and ultimately murdered her. And as the courtesy officer there at the apartment complex, he had run into Susana and had seen her along with her friends.
Do you swear?
Susana's friend Alyssa testifies at the trial that they had met Miles Bryant before at the apartment complex.
The defendant, Miles Bryant, have you seen him before?
We all knew it was a cop in our neighborhood.
Had you ever had any personal interactions with the defendant before Susana disappeared?
Yes. He came with his backpack and he had a drink with him and he had little shot cups and he had edibles and stuff. And he asked how old I was, and then when I told him my age, he still wanted to talk to me but didn't talk to me because of my age. So he knew not to drink with me, but he wanted to drink with me before he knew my age. But he still offered the edibles.
And Susana was with you?
Yes. He offered us to give us a ride to get pizza, but we said no because we're underage, you're grown.
How old were you back in July of 2022?
I was 17.
Too young to drink, correct?
Right.
It proved to us a connection. There was some time when Mr. Bryant had seen Susana before, even though he claimed to never have seen her.
Prosecutors were painting a picture of Officer Creepy. His employment record was strong evidence that he had some questionable encounters.
I'm going to show you what's marked as States Exhibit 6.
Prosecutors showed the body camera footage of Miles Bryant telling a 13-year-old what could happen to her if she runs away from home.
A mom had reported her 13-year-old daughter was missing. And he is there taking the information. While he's there, this young 13-year-old girl comes back.
Miles starts talking to her and says, pretty much narrates what I believe he did to Susana.
Something was to happen to you. We're doing a missing person, then we find your body out there in the woods. Then what? Nowadays, people don't care. People are my size, big, and just come snatch you up. You can scream, you can shout all you want. They're going to throw you in the back of the van and go take you, and your parents will never see you again. And there's nothing you can do. You can't fight it.
It was definitely disturbing.
Here he is interacting with another young Hispanic female, a teenager, and scaring her.
You got a cell phone?
No.
No? See, little something happened out there. What you gonna call?
And this was a couple months before Susana ever went missing.
And it was almost this premonition that he had put thought into this.
It's ridiculous that he would use his position in order to prey on young women.
Emotional testimony today in the trial of a former police officer.
I had prepped a lot for this trial because it meant so much to me, and I didn't want to be the reason anything messed up. So I was very, locked in and focused. So I get up there, and then the emotions just start coming.
Detective Cashler was communicating with me and telling me that they believed it was going to be, a Hispanic teenage girl.
That's all the questions I have.
Ms. Drake?
I don't have any questions, ma'am. Thank you.
The defense attorney in this case doesn't really challenge a lot of the things that are said about Miles Bryant, and she doesn't call any witnesses. There's still one person we're all waiting to hear from, however.
Mr. Bryant, do you swear or affirm that testimony you're about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Can't get enough 2020 true crime? This podcast is for you.
Join me for 2020 The After Show, wherever you get your podcasts.
Get exclusive audio you won't hear anyplace else. New episodes drop every Monday.
The ex-cop plans to testify in his own defense.
When the defense attorney says we're going to hear from Miles Bryant, that was a big bit of news for us.
Miles Bryant is the only one who was in those woods. Susana's mom and family could finally get answers.
He told us he didn't do this.
Look at him. Nothing to do with this, so.
If he wanted to take that back, he needed to get up on the stand and say it.
Are you aware that this is the only time you can testify during your trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you personally, Miles Bryant, want to testify or not?
No, ma'am.
He didn't take the stand, so everyone waiting with that bated breath, how he can explain himself. They did not get that at all.
He's a predatory monster with a badge. I'm asking you to find him guilty.
Is there any evidence of malice in murder? There is not.
When we were waiting for the verdict, it was like 8 p.m. and we were there. It seemed like forever, to be honest.
Tonight, we learned the fate of the former police officer accused of killing this teenager, Susana Morales.
The judge is given the paper. She's reading it. I swear it's like in slow-mo. It takes forever.
Count 1, malice murder. We, the jury, found the defendant guilty.
And as soon as she said guilty to malice murder, I knew at that moment we had him. The guilty on malice murder was going to send him to prison forever.
Miles Bryant found guilty of malice murder, kidnapping, felony murder, and false report of a crime.
I felt maybe just like a little bit of relief that he wasn't going to be able to walk away free from what he did. I would like to know from Miles Bryant, why did he do it? What did my sister do to him to deserve such a death?
I don't think they're ever going to get those answers. I think they'll have to live with an understanding that we got the right person.
Susana's family is able to give the victim impact statements. Then Miles is asked, does he have anything to say?
I just want to apologize to everybody and to the victim's family.
he says sorry. He just gives some, he should have just been quiet.
No, I didn't care about his apologies, to be honest, because we still had that unknown of what happened that night.
The judge then sentenced Bryant to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
You moved from that house?
Yeah.
Do you still wait for her?
Sí. Era mi bebé.
She was your baby. How often do you think about her?
Todos los días. He aprendido a caminar y a sonreír, a seguir, pero el dolor. Solo digo al Señor, Señor, a veces le grito, ¿cuándo vas a quitar este dolor que siento? The video of Susana singing the song Location on the ukulele is one of my favorite videos to look back on.
So won't you save me your location? Let's focus on communicating.
My last memory was I got on her bed and I was like, Susie, I love you so much. And I hugged her and she was like, I love you too. And I think that was the best experience and last experience I had with her. I want her to be remembered by